Hi everyone, Sherwood Smallpets here, and I'm here with Gwen, who's not too interested in showing her face quite yet. But I'm here for your Friday version of Furry Frenzy to do my biggest small pet mistakes. So my royal whoopses, so to speak. This was an awesome video that Aaron's Hamsters put out a while ago, and Carrie had the brilliant idea of, taking her up on answering her with our mistakes. I've been keeping small pets, well, I'm not going to count keeping them when I was a kid, so as an adult I've been keeping them for about 5 years, and that doesn't, and I did a lot of research before I got all of them, and let me tell you, I still made some major errors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to list my biggest mistake for each species of pet that I'm keeping. I'm not going to do dwarf hamster because I'm just going to do hamster in general, but so you're going to get my biggest mistakes for my guinea pigs, my chinchilla, my hamsters, and my degus. So let's get started. Okay, so I got her some cucumbers so you guys could see her sheepish self. Pay no mind to the lawnmower in the background. I apologize if there's an echo. The pet room is still kind of empty. It's just Gwen in here right now. But her cage mate is coming this week, so that's awesome. And that means cage tours too. Anyhow, so my first mistake, I'll start with the hamsters because that's what I got started with. So I got, we adopted Sheldon, he was a black Syrian hamster back, he was our first one, so almost 5 years ago. And my biggest mistake with hamsters was size. That's gonna be my blatant thing because it was everything for Syrian hamsters. My tank was too small, my wheel was too small, and my houses were too small. So I had him in a 20, like just a regular 20 gallon, not a 20 gallon long, like a regular 20 gallon. So it was like 2 feet by 1 foot. And that was my cage. And I thought I was doing an awesome job. I was like, wow, it's so much bigger than the pet store hamsters. I had no idea about higher, bigger standards or anything like that. And I'd been, I'd read stuff, but it was still before it was really common to do forums and stuff like that for at least people in my area. So that was, he was on a 6.5-inch silent spinner. We used, the little houses for hamsters from the pet store, and that had terrible ventilation, and it was terrible. So I mean, now I keep them in, Evie's in a detolf now, but I haven't kept any of my previous hamsters in anything smaller than a 55 gallon. So I learned, I'm lucky I learned quickly, but it was still a mistake that I feel terribly about now because Sheldon spent his entire life in something that was too small, and he was an amazing hamster. And I mean, we had him out for about 3 hours a day, and it doesn't make up for it, and I still feel terrible. And watching, looking back and thinking, oh my God, his back was bent wrong, and I felt terrible, but it's, I fixed it. So that's the important part. I fixed it with my next hamsters. We researched properly, and so too small was my problem with hamsters. The second thing, so I got Merlin next. So my biggest chinchilla mistake is probably the most common. I did have the too small of a cage, but that's not plastic. That was my thing. I had plastic shelves in Merlin's cage. He only had them for about a month and a half because as soon as I adopted him, we got more seriously involved with the Canadian Chinchilla Rescue, and as soon as we logged onto that, we saw that everything we'd read about chinchillas was pretty much wrong. I was lucky; I had never fed him fruit, but that's a major thing that people typically do. I'd also, but the plastic shelves. We had plastic shelves. You had a plastic house and a plastic dust bath. Wow. And so that was a big, huge embarrassment when I figured it out, and I felt horribly for it because I was like, oh my God, what if I just killed my pet? Shame on me, that kind of thing. That's why I'll never, ever shame anyone on YouTube for making a mistake with their pet. And for me with chins, there's so, like, chinchillas, you're always learning. There's always new information. So please, if you have chinchillas or you're thinking about getting chinchillas, just contact me and I can give you like so many resources, so many cool, like so many people you can contact. And that way you won't ever be floundering and wondering, what am I doing? Because I know I did that. Okay, Daegu mistakes. Oh, my biggest Daegu mistake, it's actually, because Gus is special needs Daegu, we didn't really have a chance to make a lot of the mainstream, I guess, Daegu errors. But the one that we definitely did was we adopted him kind of on the fly because he was being kept in, one of those critter trail, like the red bottom and the blue top and the yellow bars, that thing. He was being kept in one of those hamster cages. So it was kind of like a spur of the moment, we need to bring him home now type thing. And so we didn't think about it all the way through. But when we got him home, we started looking and we got given to us the typical, guinea pig starter cage. That's like 2 feet long, 1 foot deep, and it's the plastic bottom with the wire top. And I was like, well, this will do for now, like we'll get him something bigger soon, but that'll do. I had no idea how skilled Daegus were at chewing plastic. It's not like it was the huge crazy like no like it is for chins, but it's just the simple like they can get out risk. We had him, he was in it there for like 2 weeks, it was fine. I was getting annoyed just because it was like he was kicking all the shavings out all the time, and I was like, we need to get him into something more efficient. But the thing that really pushed me to actually doing it had to have been the morning I came out and there was a massive gaping hole in the side of the cage. It was nowhere like a corner or something that they could catch an edge. It was just a blatant hole, and he was sitting on the living room floor looking at me like, morning, breakfast now? And that was my kick in the pants that I needed to not have a plastic bottom with my Daegu cage ever. All right, moving on to the pigs. We were lucky. We never really made any like huge dietary problems with the pigs because I had skinny pigs dietary videos on like bookmark. So whenever I was like, maybe this isn't true, I had that in guinea links. So, but I'd say my biggest mistake was the boys and their hideys. I don't know if not everybody might know this, but boars can get very territorial. Now, you guys all know that we got Little John very, very young, so we didn't have to deal with any of that at the time. But once Little John started going through puberty, we had some hideys where you could get, like Robin Hood could get cornered. And he was a very passive pig. We've never ever had to separate them. But it just caused so much stress when you had stuff like... We just got a new mattress in here, so the other one's in here just chilling. But we had hideys like this, where there was just the one exit and it was only big enough for one pig. Which is why now we get stuff like this and tunnels that are wide so that both pigs can get out if need be. But that was my biggest mistake, was I nearly cost them their partnership because I was providing a situation where one of them could get trapped. And I feel... I one day when Robin Hood finally got out, he was just shaking, and it broke my heart because it was my fault. I was like, oh my god, I'm an idiot. So immediately after, I got a skill saw and cut holes in in their own. This was like they have one of these at home, and it was their only plastic hidey, and their wooden ones, and I just cut 2 holes in everything. That for me was like my baddest mistake. Yes, baddest is now a word, but my biggest mistake, and I felt just dreadful for it. And yeah, so anyhow, those are my mistakes. I could list more, but we don't have all day. You guys don't have all day. But I could definitely go on, especially with hamsters. But I just wanted to keep it to one for everybody, and just say that I know you're human, because I'm human. We're all human on this collab. Like, trust us. If somebody has made your mistake, I promise. And if you have any questions about anything you are thinking that maybe you need to change, just let us know. We'll be more than glad to help you. You know, the more we share what we did, the more we can move from it and the more we can learn from it. And, you know, it makes us all feel a little more human. All right? Well, look forward to tomorrow's surprise guest. I know I am. And make sure to check out all of my friends' individual channels. You won't regret it. They are amazing people. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this. I am Sherwood Smallpets with Furry Frenzy, wishing you a very, very happy Friday and an excellent weekend. And this is Gwen. Bye.